Let's talk about stress, baby. Let's talk about you and me. Let's talk about all the good things and the bad things that may be. Let's talk about stress, okay? So, my name is Aditi. I am an emotional freedom speaker and coach, and this is a live Thrive Talk. I created this because I really wanted to talk about overcoming stress, anxiety, and self doubt. It is something that I have had quite the experience with, and I went through some really, really difficult experiences, which made me super passionate about helping reduce emotional suffering in the world. And I believe stress causes a lot of emotional suffering. And that is what I have here to offer you. As a certified life coach, I've helped people for over 8 years with overcoming the things that have been weighing people down, have been becoming a big burden on them. And stress affects your everyday life, it affects the way you show up, it affects the things that you do. So, I want to share with you one of the scariest experiences I've ever had in my life. When I was 20 years old, I was in my college dorm and I was sitting on one of those dining tables in the kitchen. We lived in one of those cool dorms, those apartment styles where there's two private bedrooms and there's private bathrooms. So it was a very luxurious experience at the time. And I literally was sitting on the kitchen table with my roommates, and my roommate was looking at me and she was like, Aditi, your eye is not closing. And she just kept looking at me. And I was like, what are you talking about? She was like, your eye is not closing. She was like, your right eye is not closing. And I had just started taking this medication for like a cold that I had had. So then we started thinking, oh my God, maybe I'm having an allergic reaction. Like I don't know what's going on, She was like, literally, your eye is not blinking. She was like, you're blinking, like this eye is blinking, but your right eye is not blinking. And I was just like, what are you talking about? Like, I was just trying to play it off. And she was like, I really think we need to call the emergency. And I was just like, oh my God. Like, I started freaking out because me personally, I hate doctors. I hate hospitals. I hate all of those things. It freaks me out. So you can only imagine the panic that I was feeling and going through in that moment. And they had a campus run student medical service. So they came and they put me on a chair and they were like checking all the things, and I'm like freaking out. I'm like about to like burst into tears. I'm just like, oh my God, like this is so overwhelming. And it was like at 11:30 at night, so it was like late at night. I'm trying to go to bed, you know what I mean? Like, what's good? So next thing you know, I'm in the emergency room, and it takes a while because the doctor's making their rounds and all the things. And I think I find out at like 3 a.m. in the morning. And the doctor comes in and tells me, hey, Aditi, you have Bell's palsy. And I was just like, what? And he said, half of your face is paralyzed. And I was like, what? I'm trying to say this without like choking up because it was just a horrifying experience. Okay. And literally, the right side of my face was paralyzed. It was inflamed and it was not working. My eye would not close. This side of my nose was not working. This side of my mouth was not working, to the point where I couldn't even grip my lips on a glass like this. I couldn't drink a glass of water. Okay. I needed to use a straw and put it in the back of my mouth to be able to drink. Things I took for granted, I could not do. I am 20 years old, okay? I am a young adult in college, and half my face is paralyzed. And another thing I couldn't do, which was crazy because I never even thought it was a thing. When you brush your teeth, You know, when you spit out after you're brushing your teeth, I could not spit out. Like those muscles on my mouth that cause you to spit out, I had to open my mouth and let it drip out. Like, what? Insane. And I remember I was just like, oh my God, like these very basic body functions I cannot do. And for the next 8 weeks or so, I had to wear an eye patch on my eye, walking around campus. And mind you, I have glasses, right? So I wear contacts. Like I don't really wear glasses. I wear contacts. I could not wear contacts. And imagine this visual. I have an eye patch on my eye and I'm wearing glasses on top of it. I look loony, right? So forget about like the horror of everything that's happening. Like I'm in college, you know, I'm young, like I'm horrified at how I look walking around campus. And I was just like, people were like, I mean, did you get beat up though? Like, what's good? Like, what happened? You know what I mean? And I'm like, my face is half paralyzed. Like, and the doctor told me that it was from stress that a virus mutated into Bell's palsy. From stress, okay? So I had had a cold maybe a few weeks prior, and that cold virus mutated into Bell's palsy. Stress caused my face to become half paralyzed. Okay, so how does Bell's palsy work? Basically, it lasts about 2 months or so. And then usually people start getting feeling back and things start working again. But there are times where things don't completely go back to normal. So perhaps part of your mouth is like a little lopsided, or maybe the eye, you know, it doesn't open up all the way as it used to. So thank God, pretty much everything came back to working condition. And it's funny because I was actually leading a huge event literally just 8 weeks from when this happened. And I was going to be on stage on the mic and everything. So luckily by that moment, I was able to wear contacts. And that was the first day I wore contacts coming back from this experience. But to tell you how this changed, yes, stress kills. To tell you how this experience changed my life forever, it really taught me how stress can literally affect your body. A direct connection of how stress affects your body. So think about it. If you are stressed about your bills, you are stressed about a relationship, you are stressed about something going on with your family, with your kids, I want you to pay attention to this, okay? Don't just throw it under the rug. Don't just do what everyone else is doing, is just walking over it and moving on to the next thing. Because guess what's going to happen? That stress that is not processed is going to stay in your body and it is going to show up later on in some sort of way. Stress is supposed to move. It is not supposed to stay in your body. It is supposed to move through you. Stress is supposed to give us a message. It is not supposed to be on constantly. But we live in such a hustle and stress culture. It is not valued to really step back and take care of yourself. Self-care is all the buzzword, right? But how much are you really seeing people taking care of themselves? Like truly, you're seeing people overworking. You're seeing people go through ridiculous situations and then just next thing they're just trying to brush it off their shoulder and move on without really processing what just happened. So what I'm going to do is I'm here to equip you with the reminders and the tools to remember to pay attention to your stress, to nurture it, to love it like it's your child, because it's here to give you a message. It's here to tell you about something that is not working. Later on, when I had found out, I came across Louise Hay's book, You Can Heal Your Life. And that book, she literally talks about the causes of different ailments and illnesses from the emotion it starts from. And let me tell you what I found out Bell's palsy was. And this was years later I found out. I found out it was extreme of repressed anger. And let me tell you, I was going through a personal experience at that time, and I was very angry. And I told nobody about it because I was humiliated and I was embarrassed about the situation. And I suffered in silence. I cried myself to sleep almost every night, and nobody knew. Maybe one person knew, but barely. You know, I was also just trying to brush it off. I was trying to be strong. I was trying to move past it, right? Um, and I was very angry. And 24 hours after I got out of the hospital, I don't know why, but I think my body knew. I went and spoke to that person that this situation was involved with, and I told them how I felt. And I was like, wow, that stress that I carried in my body literally paralyzed half my face. Like, what? So I created this series, I'm going to be doing these Thrive Talks to give you guys tools, emotional wellness tools, so you can really be able to connect with yourself in a deeper level than you ever have. Because guess what? Your health is the most important. Your health is what keeps you alive. You have all the money in the world and you don't have your health, you pretty much have nothing. So I want to empower you with the skills and the tools to help you really take care of your emotional health. I'm going to help you with stress. I'm going to help you with anxiety. I'm going to help you with self doubt. And the main thing I want you to leave with today is one question for yourself to kickstart this emotional wellness journey for you. Thank you so much for sharing that. That's exactly why I created this, because I know that stress is not really paid attention to in this culture, in this day and age. And you may already know the statistics that stress is the leading cause of so many diseases. So, stress should be a priority on your healthcare list. Not only eating clean or working out or whatever other things that you're doing to take care of yourself, not only the massages and the mani pedis or whatever you do as your self-care routine, but really paying attention to the thoughts in your mind, to the emotions that you're experiencing, and being able to really be in an intimate relationship with yourself. Okay? So this is what I want you to think about this week. I want you to think about your personal relationship with stress. Do you have a reactive relationship with stress? Or do you have a proactive relationship with stress? And what this means is, are you only paying attention to your stress when it comes to an extreme situation and you're like, "Oh my God, I think I'm going to die. Like I need to take care of, I need to do something. I need to take a nap. I need to go outside for a walk. I'm losing it," right? So that's reactive. You are paying attention to it after it has reached the alarm bells. Pay attention now. Or maybe when you end up in the hospital like I did, right? Reactive. It was only after that moment I started paying attention more than I was before, at least. I took a stress management class. I practiced yoga. I started reading these books, right? Or do you have a proactive relationship to stress where you are aware of your emotional health on a day to day basis? How am I feeling today? Where am I at? Right? And I'll tell you, most people don't have a proactive relationship to stress. So if you don't, it's okay. Don't feel bad about it. The whole point of this is for you to become aware of where you're at right now so that now you can move forward and choose a new decision to make new choices. So think about that. Do you have a reactive relationship to stress or a proactive relationship to stress? And I want you to pay attention in this next week what is coming up for you on a daily basis. Okay? And I'm going to be doing more of these talks about stress, about anxiety, about self doubt. So if you want to learn more about these tools, I want you to go ahead and subscribe to this YouTube channel. Follow me on Instagram. My handle is Aditi Creative. I'm going to be sharing a lot of resources. I'm going to be sharing other podcasts that I find valuable. I'm going to be sharing books, and I'm going to be sharing with you more of the stuff that I have learned. And to solidify a little bit more, to tell you about how stress affects your body, I want to share with you this one thing I learned in this book by Florence Shin. Okay, she's a metaphysician. She has a couple books, and I have her complete works. One of them is called The Game of Life and How to Play It. And I think the next one is like The Secret Door to Success. So she talks about how resentment, anger, fear, literally affects the organs in your body. Okay, so she says all the organs of the body are affected by resentment. So she's specifically talking about resentment in this case. And resentment, right, causes stress in your body. So for when you resent with every organ of the body. You pay penalty with rheumatism, arthritis, neuritis, etc. For acid thoughts produce acid in the blood. Wow. Let me say that again. Acid thoughts produce acid in the blood. Okay? Literally, the right side of my face was inflamed when I had Bell's palsy. When I was sleep, I couldn't even sleep on the side of my face. It hurt so much. Like it was literally like I can't even explain the feeling of what the inflamed felt like. Like it was already hurting, but like laying on the pillow was hurting even more. Like I had to lay on the other side. Okay? So all this trouble comes because you are fighting this battle rather than really meeting it for what it is. Okay? So I wanted to share that quote with you because it really solidifies how stress affects your body, affects your organs, affects everything. Okay. So, like I said, I'm going to be doing more of these. And what I'm also doing is I am doing talks at companies, for women's groups, for teams, for associations, for nonprofits. So if you work at a place where you feel that a presentation about stress management would be really helpful for your team members, for your colleagues, or for any group you're a part of, contact me because I am so passionate about bringing this to as many people as possible, especially right now. People are in extreme place of stress, and I have these tools and I want to bring them to as many people as possible. So you can find my website, aditispeaks.com. My email is aditi@aditispeaks.com. If you want to discuss me speaking to your group, I would love to come share this information with you guys. All right. So stay tuned. There's going to be more of this. And if you want if you have specific questions about how to handle certain situations, or what to do, or how to, if you're struggling in a certain area of stress or anything at all, share it with me because I'm going to be creating content to help address all of these things for you. Okay, we're going to even talk about stress in relationships, stress with health, stress with finances, all of the things. Okay, so I'm super excited. Thank you so much for being here with me live. Thank you so much. Yes, acid thoughts produce acid conditions and health problems. All right. So this is not to scare you guys, all right? I want to be very clear about that. This is to bring awareness back to yourself. This is to bring attention to your most important health. And the fact that you're paying attention to it now is what is going to make a difference for you in the long run. All right. I love you so much. Feel free to share with me your favorite part or your takeaway from today's Thrive Talk. I love you so much, and I will see you guys next week. Bye.